Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astrogat Mysore. So today we are going through a yoga called Asatyavadi Yoga. Sat means truth. Asat means other than truth. That is, which is a falsification, lie, or anything other than truth. Because many times it happens to avoid a situation, a person can say something else other than truth, which may not be harmful and it may not be a total lie. This is what is called as dharma sukshma. That is, this particular thing happened in many epics like Mahabharata and Ramayana. You get a lot of instances where dharma sukshma and sukshma dharma has been explained. Sukshma dharma is the sensitive or the most delicate part of dharma which cannot be altered. Dharma sukshma is like if somebody comes and asks me that, do you have this with you? And I say no, but it is still in my possession, but I do not have it. I have given it to somebody else to keep it. So that means I am partially telling the truth that I don't have it with me. But it is still under my control, it's under somebody else. This dharma sukshmas, that is the sensitive part of truth, might give you some time or a savior. We tell in our native tongue of Kannada, we tell, ಬೀಸೆ ದೊಣ್ಣೆಯಿಂದ ಬೀಸುವ ದೊಣ್ಣೆಯಿಂದ ತಪ್ಪಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. Means when there is a sudden impact going to happen on you, you might try to avoid it by not telling the whole truth. You people will understand when your children come to you coming back from school, something has happened there, they will not tell you the whole truth. They will tell only the other part of what happened. They will not tell you the real part of what he also did. So these are called hiding truths. This does not come under Asatyavadi. This is what I am trying to tell. Here the clear-cut issue is that this person is a liar. You cannot believe this guy. You cannot trust this guy. So, trustworthy and a person who does a living through manipulation or escapes through manipulation is Asatyavadi. Not those children who come from school and tell, Mummy, he hit me, I did not do anything. That's why I got this, So he is telling half of the truth. He is not telling the other part, what he did. That doesn't come under Asatyavadi. This, even after old age, even after a particular age that a person becomes an adult or an elder, when they are conscious, small things like hiding truth keeps happening every day and most of the days. So, this is not at all pertaining to this yoga. This yoga, very clearly, once again, I am telling you, Asatyavadi, the ideology or the meaning behind this particular line, Asatyavadi, means a yoga of a compulsive, repetitive, habitual liar. So let us go into it. So the criteria as per the yoga given under the epics is that the second lord is in Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn or Aquarius. So the yoga only pertains to 4 rashis then. Why is only Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn, Aquarius taken into the list? Let us first go through the criteria, then I will tell you the transformations of this. Going through this is a little tough yoga to understand. I will have to give you one or two examples. This is elaborate examples. Then only a person can really get into this yoga to understand why this happens. I have told you a certain set of words: compulsive, repetitive, habitual liars. So it is compulsive, repetitive, and habitual. Be very clear with regard to these words. You will understand the meaning of this particular criteria. The second lord, wherever the ascendant is placed, the second lord of that particular chart is placed in either Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn, or Aquarius. And along with that, the Kendras and the Trikonas, this has been defined as and, but I will take it as or, that either the Kendra or the Trikona. But actual definition is this along and Kendras and Trikonas will have to be placed with malefics. We'll go to an example here. Saturn, the second lord, is in Aries, debilitated. I always take classic examples. I will not take an example where you people will have doubts and start questioning me. So here there is no question. Saturn, the second lord, is in Aries. It's debilitated. Vaksthana. That is why I have given a list of important lords. The Lagna lord, the moon, and second lord are very important here. Moon for the language, the tone, the patience a person has to listen and also to speak. Lagna Lord, which gives you a real base, the realness of the person, that is the character of a person, is seen from the Lagna Lord. Then the second Lord, Vaksthana Adipati, the tone, the expression, is seen from the second house. The third house is for communication. So we are not going into communication here. He will communicate either the truth or a lie. The communication is happening. But here we are talking about what he communicates. That is the second house, Vaksthana. The word Vak has come from, the base dhatu in Sanskrit, Vak. And the same thing in English has been implemented as voice. So the C there is K, voice. Okay. So people will tell that, Sanskrit is because, you are taking base of Sanskrit for every word in English. We don't take it for every word. Sanskrit is very important. People have understood that when they started attaching, Veda or Vedic for even a toothpaste, just to make their marketing, base more. They want Vedas to be added even in a toothpaste. We are adding Vedas to astrology. We are not adding it. This is Vedic astrology. Please try to understand. People can market anything, anywhere using Sanskrit nowadays. They think that Sanskrit means we'll get more money through market. So, Vaksthana, that is the voice, is seen from the second house. And that is why the second Lord, which represents the voice, is very important, the utmost important planet. So the second Lord is now debilitated in Aries, and Kendras are Trikonas. So let me take one of the Trikonas and put malefics there. And house of communication got Ketu. So this particular combination comes under the first criteria of Asatyavadi yoga. And this yoga gets cancelled if, very simple, got cancelled now. This person has high responsibility now. What is the responsibility? The responsibility of being ethical itself is the first responsibility of Jupiter. The responsibility of being ethical. You know how tough it is to be ethical and live through this world with ethical earning. That is Jupiter. He will not tell a lie. He is not supposed to tell a lie until and unless he is not afflicted. If he is afflicted with Rahu or if he is afflicted with a retro Saturn, obviously he will also take that particular path of, trying to run away from responsibilities. But this fellow here, giving rise to Hamsa Yoga, one of the Panchamahapurush yogas, will totally cancel this Asatyavadi yoga, and it is giving you Panchamahapurush yoga, Mahapurusha. When we tell strong, great personalities, great is always used in our Sanskrit or Vedic text, Maha, only when it is positive. We don't tell he is a Mahadrohi. Never tell that. Drohi means a tyrant. What do you call a Drohi? Deceitful person. We don't call him as, an accomplished great Drohi. We don't tell that. So our words in our language, in our native tongue, some words are not used for negatives. Maha is always for a big thing happening, huge thing. So
it's like they will say Mahanayak but not Mahakhalnayak.
Correct. Mahanayak, that is the great leader. They will not tell Mahakalnayak, a great villain. No. So this is Pancha Mahapurusha Yoga. One of the 5 main great personalities will be born. So this cancels this yoga. So the same way, we need to see these 3 things. That is Chandra's position, Moon's position, Ascendant Lord's position, and the second Lord's position, and confirm as to whether it really matters. Simply jumping into conclusions will not work. For example, I'll give you the same thing. I will turn it upside down now. Now you will understand. If I turn it upside down, you will 100% understand that how come this will work. It should not work. It will not work here. Just putting this ascendant here, putting Mars here, let the whole thing be same. This comes under Ruchaka Yoga. The second Lord Mars has got exalted. We have a malefic in the Kendra. We have a malefic in the Kendra. Does not come under Asatyavadi Yoga. None of the Panchamahapurusha Yogas can be classified under Asatyavadi Yoga until unless the Panchamahapurusha Yoga itself has got cancelled or it has got transformed. So that cancellations and transformations is a huge chapter in the advanced level of astrology, which requires a lot of time. Let us go there later. So for the while, let me talk about the second criteria. There are 2 criteria, 2 versions for the same yoga. Let me come to the second level. So the first level was with regard to the second Lord. The first level was with regard to the second Lord. The second level also is concerned with the second Lord. That basic understanding you should have, that the second Lord and the second house will always be very crucial in understanding whether the person will ethically communicate or not. So, one more small important point I'll have to put it here. People who are having Manglik dosha in the second house. What is Manglik dosha? Like from ascendant, if second house is posited along with Mars, people are telling that this is Kuja dosha, Mangala dosha, or Manglik. This is a big hype everywhere that people with Mars in the second house have a very harsh voice. They have a harsh tone. Their communication is very rude, cruel. Please keep that all aside. Is it ethical? Check that out with this yogas. Mars in the second house does not make a person Asatyavadi. That should be clear. Mars in the second house is not the only criteria which will make a person Asatyavadi. There are other criteria which have to be seen. So, other factors. Let us go to the second one. The second option is the D9 Lord, where the second Lord is placed. The D9 Lord. So, let us take this particular example. The second Lord is Venus. So, okay, second Lord is Venus. You know, my wife was telling people are asking you to write JU for Jupiter, VE for Venus. I'll use it in the second example. Please excuse me because I will not be using those things every time. I have got fixed to the symbols. You also should get fixed to the symbol. People who are learning astrology are not complaining this because they have got fixed to the symbols. These symbols speak to us. So, Venus, the second lord, is sitting somewhere in the Navamsha Kundali. In the Navamsha Kundali. Let us say Venus is sitting here. So, Venus is sitting in Aquarius and the lord of Aquarius is Saturn. So, what he is telling here? D9 lord, where second lord is placed. The D9 lord, the lord of the sign of D9. D9 sign lord. Where second lord is placed, second lord means whenever they are telling first lord, second lord, third lord, that is from D1. Okay. So the second lord is Venus. It is placed in the D9 in Aquarius. And the lord of Aquarius is Saturn. That is what is telling here. D9 lord where second lord is placed is either Mars or Saturn. Either Mars or Saturn. But only because the second lord went into the Navamsha of Saturn, can a person become Asatyavadi? No. That is the criteria. Don't take it directly like that. In that sense, 90% of the world will become Asatyavadi. Don't take like that. Along with this, you should have a bad second house. You should have a bad moon's position, or you should have a weak Lagnadipati, an escapist, or a strong Lagnadipati, a manipulator, a con man, an artist. Con artist, not just an artist. I love artists, painters, dancers. Not artists, con artists. So, confident people will rob you if it's an Asatyavadi yoga. Weak people will escape. They will not hold their ground. You know, the chart doesn't hold water, they run away. So, in the second factor, you have another small transformation that if the D9 lord of the second lord, now it is here Saturn, which is the dispositor of Venus, is placed over any of the signs of Mars and Saturn. So here it is Saturn itself. I'll take another example. The second lord Venus, let us say it is posited here in the D9 chart. And where is Mercury posited? It comes here. Let us say in the D1. You should see it back in the D1, not in the D9. So the dispositor of the second lord or in the D9 chart, that is the lord ruling the sign where the second lord is posited, should be seen where it is posited in the D1. D1. And if it is having any relationship with Saturn or Mars or their signs, that is Scorpio, Aquarius, Capricorn, Aries, then Asatyavadi Yoga is formed. It is formed. Whether it is in full, high intensity or not, again, please check the second house, second lord. Again, second lord is where it is posited in D1. How the second house is having this combination. We call it as PAC, position, aspect and conjunction. Please check that out. Then also see the strength of the ascendant and the ascendant lord. Strength of the ascendant and ascendant lord have to be seen from Shadbala for the ascendant lord and from Bhavabala for the ascendant. So this is how Asatyavadi yoga has to be ascertained from a chart. So thank you very much for today's class.